Newcastle faced yet another struggling team in Nottingham Forest on Sunday, and they put on a dominant performance. And my ratings reflect that. In goal, Nick Pope was solid between the sticks again. It was when he left the penalty areas when things got a little hairy. His distribution and his kicks were suspect yet again, but his saves were on point and exactly when we needed them. So I'm giving him an 8 out of 10 for that performance just because he still is struggling with his distribution. In defense, we are starting to see the center back pairing of the future in Howe and Botman. They were lights out in the center of the park the entire 90 minutes. Trips was solid, but Big Dan Burn on left back was the biggest liability. You have to wonder if you're Dan Burn and you're looking in the center of the pitch, you're like, am I losing my spot when Hall or Livermento come back? We all know that Dan Burn's not a left back, and he's there because, well, we need somebody there. Had there been anybody who had some speed on the right side of the pitch for Nottingham Forest, that could have been a much worse problem, but thankfully, they don't. And for all of this, they're going to get an 8 out of 10 for their efforts. The midfield is where things were absolutely dominant for most of the match. Bruno and Tonali cleaned things up, and Joelinton showed his more offensive side rather than his physical side for most of this game. He was very dangerous going forward, picking off passes, taking shots. They didn't go in, but he was really, really dangerous, and he put a lot of pressure on the Forest back line. It allowed Bruno to step up and take a beautiful shot for the first goal, and then Bruno came in on the press to draw the penalty for the second goal. They're going to get a 9 out of 10 for this performance because they were just that dominant. The forwards, they were solid all day long. They were starting to see that trio of Alenga and Woltemade and Gordon come together and do what they're supposed to do. Woltemade take the ball, distribute the ball to the wings, somebody else make the run, try and get the goal. Anthony Gordon nearly had one in the first half. They did everything right except for score goals. So for that, they're going to get a 7 out of 10, even though they played really well. At set pieces, they did everything right. They defended well. They were solid on the offensive side. They just couldn't get anything going, really. But Woltemade stepping up to the penalty spot after Gordon came off and made a statement with a top BINS banger. Only Jimmy Bullard from Soccer AM would be more proud of that shot. 8 out of 10 for this game. Subs, they were fine. They came on, they did the business, they did well, they preserved the clean sheet, we got a 2-0 win, and special shout out to Jacob Murphy for juking 3 people as the final whistle blew. Who knew he had it in him? They're getting an 8 out of 10 for this game. When you tally everything up, it comes out to a very solid 8 for this game. Just like Union SG at midweek, Newcastle had to take advantage of all the chaos surrounding Nottingham right now and earn yet another 3 points against a struggling team at St. James's Park. This has been another Newcastle United Quick Bite. How did the Nick Woltemade strike from the penalty spot?